What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with the weekly reset this Tuesday, the 29th of October, which is kicking off a fairly busy week inside of Destiny 2. So we've had another game update today. On top of that, we've got the arrival of Festival of the Lost for the year, this time highly anticipated with the inclusion of exotic class items for all players. So we'll touch on that and some of the patch updates for today. Additionally though, we've got extra rewards, including a new Nightfall weapon for the season, the launch of Grandmaster Nightfalls, plus we'll cover vendor inventories for the week, the Eververse store, and some of the key unlocks that we can get access to alongside the reset. So, as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, get subscribed to the channel, and I'll keep you up to date with more Destiny content. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and now let's get into it. And so first up, Festival of the Lost is now live for the next 3 weeks. As we've discussed in other videos, there is a new armor set via the Eververse store, a brand new weapon, and as always there are cosmetics, event challenges, and the inclusion of exotic class items for the first time, which can be purchased from Evil Levante. So I know a lot of players are excited about that, and I'll do my best to cover the top ways to farm the exotic class items with Festival of the Lost, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise though, Revenant continues. No new quests or story updates just yet, but we can carry on making progress with Ido's fieldwork. And alongside the reset, of course, there are new chances to pick up the Icebreaker from Vesper's Host, so good luck on the hunt if you are after those. Next up though, we have the patch notes for the update today, and this is patch 8103. For episode Revenant, they fixed a bunch of issues, one where on-screen tutorials for fieldworks could not be closed, another where in some instances major fieldwork voiceover was playing out of order, and then there's one where Aramis voiceovers were louder than intended, and one where the Helm landing zone spawned players in the last city hub instead. So some fixes there. Also for Salvation, or Onslaught Salvation, sorry, they fixed an issue where the class Warfare and Shot Caller modifiers would not activate during Expert Onslaught. Then for Raids and Dungeons and Vesper's Host initially, they fixed an issue where players that dismantled the Rogue Network quest could not reacquire it. And for Salvation's Edge, they implemented a potential fix to an issue where the memento wasn't dropping for players, other than the first Fireteam leader, and we'll update this patch note to confirm if the fix was successful, so we'll see what happens on that front. Next up though, for weapons, and Bungie say they fixed instances of the curated deadlock that dropped with incorrect perks. Hammerforged will be replaced with Rifle Barrel, high caliber rounds will be replaced with Light Mag, and then Killing Wind will be replaced with Lone Wolf, and Desperate Measures replaced with Closing Time. Give us your thoughts about that. They add that in cases where the perks were enhanced, the perk will be swapped to the enhanced version. They also fixed an issue where the Vantage Point Pulse Rifle could equip rocket launcher mods instead of Pulse Rifle mods, and another where the Vantage Point could receive Vault Shot instead of the new Jolting Feedback perk. Finally though, they fixed an issue where the Desperate Measures perk had its damage bonus reduced. So those are the core sort of updates from the patch today, but as always I'll link the patch notes down below. Now though, as we get into the game, of course, we get the notification that there are double Nightfall rewards active, and that's alongside the launch of Grandmasters, so a pretty good time to jump into Nightfalls this week. There's also a Vanguard booster, so on top of the new weapon, extra drops and additional XP, of course, is always nice. We do also, of course, have the launch of Festival of the Lost, as we can see right here, so as always with Festival, be sure to visit Evil Levante in the tower, and she'll have a quest to get us started. And I'll keep you guys posted if there are additional details regarding Festival throughout the day. Now though, let's take a look at the Eververse store. And as always, when we get events, there is an event tab right here, showcasing new armor, masks, and various different cosmetics. And the Witness, who looks absolutely blazed, but let's focus on Bright Dust items for this video at the very least. So we've got the Jacko Shell on the front page for 2850 Bright Dust. Pretty nice one returning from previous years. There's also the Gourd Summoner exotic emo, which is 3250 Bright Dust as well. Moving on though, we've got the Hiver Lantern projection for 1500 Bright Dust. Pretty expensive ghost projections, but for shaders, there is Shadow Strike available up first. I don't especially rate it on this armor, at least. And then we've got Skelligorl as well, another one coming back from previous years, and these are 300 Bright Dust. But moving to the main Bright Dust section, we've got the Knock Knock Legendary emote, which is 700 Bright Dust. We'll have a quick preview of that one. Not sure if this is a new one for this year. Maybe, potentially. There's also the Jump Scare rare emote for 400 Bright Dust right there. So a pretty cool one to preview there. Additionally though, a couple of new items for Festival this year. So there's the Eternal Shell for 2850 Bright Dust. a new spooky ghost shell, I suppose, which is pretty cool. Interesting that Bungie have offered these for Bright Dust on the first week. That's relatively unheard of, I think. There's the Wretched Bow as well, exotic ship here. I'll have a quick preview of the Trail, a very curious item that's available for 2,000 Bright Dust. And then we've got the Grotesque Lapis exotic sparrow, which is 2,500 Bright Dust. And this one certainly actually is pretty cool, kind of gothic vibes going on. There's also the ornament Worm Perilous for the Parasite, which is quite a nice festival one from previous years if you haven't picked it up before. That one's up for 1,250 Bright Dust. And then we have the Whimsical Projection. Once again, these are 1,500 Bright Dust. But for the second page of shaders, firstly, there is Dark Fluorescence available right here, which is quite nice, minus my green boots. The Bramble shader, as I always call it, because I can't actually pronounce the name, quite a nice purple shader if you want it. And then there is the Vibrant Medusa as well, which of course has come up a few times in Eververse, vibrant indeed. And finally, the Clinging Cobweb for 300 Bright Dust as well. So let us know your thoughts on those. Finally though, there is the Arachnophile Transmat effect for 450 Bright Dust. We'll preview that one again. Additionally, we've got the Up in Smoke Transmat effect. And very finally, there is the Luminous Cocoon available this week as well. So we'll preview these because it always cuts them off. Either way, let us know your thoughts on the Eververse inventory. Nice to have a couple of new items up for grabs this week, and let us know what you plan to pick up down below. Let's also take a very quick visit to Banshee here for the weapons. We've got the Memory Interdict with Pulse Monitor, Disruption Break. There's also the Peace of Mind Pulse Rifle with Perpetual Motion and Adrenaline Junkie. And then the Briar's Love Scout with Keep Away Explosive Payload, which might be alright. Also the Hand-in-Hand Shotgun, which has got Trench Barrel and Ensemble. And finally, the Funnel Web with Perpetual Motion and Rangefinder. So give us your thoughts on those, but keep in mind the weapons and roles will change throughout the week. And very finally, for the vendors, let's visit Shader 1 here in the Annex. For the armor, we've got the Mimic Savior set of gear from back in the day, so something for collections if you need to pick it up perhaps. And then there is, for shaders, the Envious Touch up first. These are 10,000 Glimmer. Additionally, we've got the Echoes of Io, the Worn variant this week. And finally, the War Cult camo is up as well if you're after older faction shaders. For a final mention of a few rewards this week though, firstly, the Nightfall weapon should be the Rake Angle, which is the new status glaive for this episode, so it's nice to finally be able to go after that one, and the Lightblade Strike is featured this week, so good luck on the hunt there. Otherwise, Operation Seraph Shield is the exotic mission this time around, so we can farm for Revision 0 and all of the upgrades if you still need to work on any of them. Plus for other updates this week, we've got Vault of Glass for the featured raid, so Vex Mythoclast is totally farmable there. And Crota's End will be featured as well, where we've got the chances at the legendary loophole. Otherwise though, Warlord's Ruin is finally featured, so we've got a farmable Buried Bloodline this week, and I believe that's the first time it's been possible. So good luck on that front. Otherwise, Grasp of Avarice is also featured as well. Our final mention though is for Lost Sectors, and for today we've got the Forgotten Deep in the Pale Heart. October 30th we'll move over to Extraction in Savathun's Throne World, and then we'll get Sepulture on the Throne World for October 31st. For November 1st though, there's Metamorphosis, and then we go to the moon with K1 Revelation on the 2nd, Bay of Drowned Wishes in the Dreaming City for November 3rd, and for the 4th it'll be Chamber of Starlight in the Dreaming City, with the Lost Sectors having chances at exotic engrams on solo completions, as well as world drops of legendary weapons. For today though guys, that is what we have to speak about in this video, so as always I hope you've enjoyed this one, and if you have, a rating below really helps us on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you up to date with more Destiny content. But otherwise, thank you as always for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.